السلام عليكم. لا تنسوا الإعجاب بالفيديو والاشتراك في القناة تشجيعا لنا لنستمر بنشر المزيد إن شاء الله.
And I had different experiences to then, I would take what you're saying differently.
Right. Okay. So this Daniel person, right? Obviously he would come to you and he would say additional things that I have not said to you, right? Because for some reason at this point I can't really explain what I need to say to you. But when Daniel comes, he will explain everything. So the New Testament, I would argue the same argument, because Jesus said, I have many things to say to you, but at this point I cannot tell you. However, when the Spirit of truth comes, now I believe that Spirit of truth is Prophet Muhammad, right? And the reason why I believe that is because the Greek word used here is parakletos. Parakletos. Parakletos in Greek, it means a comforter or someone who is going to give a message, right? So we believe that Prophet Muhammad is that comforter, right? And he will guide mankind into all truths, right? We know that Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world, right? And if we look at the Quran, for example, the Quran, I think the Quran is amazing, personally. I think the Quran is amazing. Because
the Quran is the Old Testament, right?
No. The Old Testament consists...
Isn't there, the Old Testament is somehow incorporated into the Quran?
No, the Old Testament, if we look at the Old Testament...
And you're talking about Adam and Eve, so you have to have some type of Old Testament in your...
Sorry, come again?
Because you guys are talking about Adam and Eve, so you guys have to have some type of the Old Testament in your religion, right?
No. Right, if we look at the Old Testament, it consists of the book of Genesis, it consists of the book of Leviticus, the book of Numbers, the book of Joshua, the book of Samuel. We don't have these books in the Quran.
Okay.
It doesn't exist.
Okay.
We have... The Quran is an entirely separate book in itself. Yes, there are some stories that resemble some of the Old Testament stories. Do you understand? Yeah. So some of the stories are similar, like some of the creation stories, speaking about, for example, the flood, what happened at the time of Noah. So there are similarities, although there are major differences.
Okay, continue.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Right. So that's one of the major key differences, you know. However, in the Quran, it does focus... Oh gosh, yeah. So in the Quran does focus on the worship and the oneness of God, right? That is kind of like the pinnacle of the Quran, the heart of the Quran. It speaks about the oneness of God. There's one verse in the Quran, I'll say it in Arabic and I will translate it. It says, Inna Allah la yukfiru. Allah does not forgive. And yushriku bi, that you associate partners with me. Wa yukfiru duna dhalika ma yasha. And that Allah will not forgive any other sin other than... So any other sin that you commit, God will forgive. But if you associate partners with God, God will not forgive this sin. Because God is the one that gave you life.
So are you saying that your God wouldn't forgive me for praying to Jesus and for thinking that Jesus is part of God? Is that what you're saying?
What it is, right? God in the Old Testament says, I am a jealous God.
Yeah.
Right? Have you read this verse?
I think so.
Right. God says,
familiar.
God is jealous, right? He's so jealous that if you start worshipping someone other than him, according to his own words, he gets upset.
But he also said, this is my son for who I am well pleased with, so I don't see how it would be bad to...
See, the thing is, when in the New Testament, yes, it does say that. It says, this is my son I'm well pleased with. Yeah, you're right. And if God is pleased with him, we should be pleased with him.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't worship him. We should respect him. Do you know what... Okay, let's get into definitions. Do you know what worship means? What does worship mean? Because I want to try and clarify in your mind.
Worship to me means like they're kind of a role
Okay, so I think, I'm glad I asked you that question. Right, so the definition of worship is to pray to them, to prostrate to them, to basically treat that individual or person like a god. And this is what God in the Old Testament says that he gets jealous of. So when we worship God, we worship him in a way that only he wants to be worshipped. Do you follow?
I do follow. I've read the New Testament, and I don't see anywhere where it doesn't say to not worship Jesus in that sense. That we shouldn't.
So is there a verse in the New Testament where it says that you should worship Jesus?
Not that I can recall, but I haven't read it probably in the last year, so I don't know.
Okay. Right, there are several verses in the Bible where God says that you should only worship him. And
But is that in the Old Testament?
no, in the New Testament. I shall show you. Just bear with me 1 second.
Interesting. So is your whole spiel right now telling me that I shouldn't worship Jesus? Is that what you're saying? Is that what this whole conclusion?
You want to add anything to this?
Not really. I think you've got this. I'll just I'll stand by and have a listen.
Basically, I'm saying, with all respect, that worshipping Christ is considered as an abomination because Jesus never once commanded to worship him, right? He did say, worship the Father. For example, in the Lord's Prayer, it says, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Forgive us our trespasses. Right, does it not say this?
I think so.
Yeah. So
I didn't memorize it, but
no. I'm just paraphrasing myself. So in these verses, it says that we should only pray to God. So Jesus said, Our Father. So he directs you as a Christian. If you have a supplication or a prayer to make, you should direct it to him. Are you with me?
yeah.
Right? So, and Jesus is a teacher. He's a prophet, and he's a moral teacher. So as a Christian, he's guiding you. He's guiding you. Says, you know what? If you have a prayer that you need to make, do it to him.
Yeah, do it
because
to the boss, not the PA.
exactly.
Do it to the person, not the what?
Do it to the boss, not the PA. That's
In other words, God is the boss,
Yeah.
and the PA is the one subordinate to him, which is slightly underneath, right? And Jesus says that God is greater than him. John 14 verse 28, Jesus said, my Father is greater than I. So again, we should only render worship to God, you know?
Well, I have a lot to think about now. So
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
Read and
But this is all about
reassess.
educating and keep reading. I'm learning every single day. It's just not the time to do it, isn't it? If we're working all the time. But it's really nice talking to Roxanne.
Yeah, Roxanne. What's your name?
Amanda, and this is Hamza.
What's your name?
Hamza. It's nice to meet you. And
Enjoy
yeah.
the rest of your day.
And if you, my advice to you is this, right? I don't know how open-minded you are about Islam, because Islam is a religion that's been really misunderstood, especially by the media and just basically people who don't like Islam. And so I advise you just to, in your own spare time, just sit down, open a book, and just read anything about Islam, and just obviously be a bit more open-minded. Unfortunately, we have some people who don't like Islam, and they're unfortunately very close-minded. I mean, I'm very open-minded. I read about Christianity, obviously this is the reason why I can actually have this discourse with you, because I've done some research. I'm not a scholar in any way, so I don't claim to be up there or anything like that. Well, whatever little knowledge that I have, I'm just passing it on to you, really, to be honest. So I invite you to obviously be a bit open-minded and just have a look into it. You don't have to. There's no compulsion. No one's compelling you to be a Muslim. You know what I mean? As an open-minded person, just have a read and then, see exactly. Exactly.
Well, thank you. I'll definitely get more educated. I've never heard that.
You don't seem like you don't actually have no education. You have it. He's just talking to the right people at the right time.
It's just getting a different perspective. I've never heard that point of view of it could be wrong to worship Jesus as you worship God. I never heard that point of view before because I've only ever been around Christians who really believe in Jesus and that love Him. So I'll definitely research that more. That's a very interesting point that you brought up. I like that point.
Yeah, no worries.
It's nice to meet you.
Yeah?
Thank you guys.
It's been a pleasure. Take care. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. That was our sister. Inshallah, I hope that she is more open-minded, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open her heart to Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
إذا أعجبك الفيديو لا تنسى الإعجاب والتعليق، ولكي يصلك كل جديد اشترك الآن.